So a few weeks ago there was a submarine that went in the water, right? Today we're reacting to the top 10 scary times TV shows predicted the future.
There are coincidences, and then there are coincidences.
My name's
cases that give you
Coincidences.
that brief thought in the back of your mind.
Bro,
that
you're
maybe
like way
we're
low
living in
quality
some
for me.
I'm your host James, and these are the top 10.
Wait a minute. My camera's on the wrong side, bro. I'm so unprepared today. Jesus Christ.
I'm your host James, and these are the top 10 scary times TV shows predicted the future.
Ooh.
We're starting off this list with The Lone Gunman. This 2001 spin-off of The X-Files was short-lived and nowhere near as successful as its predecessor. Mostly remembered
No
now
idea.
for its very first episode entitled Pilot, oddly enough. Here our trio attempts to unravel a government conspiracy and thwart a plan that involves flying a plane into the World Trade Center with the intention of sending the US population into a panic with the hopes of increasing arms sales.
Wait, when was this out?
Country. Now, hearing a description like that, you'd probably think this episode was written after the events of September 11th, but this episode came out before, in March of 2001, just 6 months before the Twin Towers were
Maybe that's what gave them the
attacked
idea.
in real
Huh?
life.
Maybe,
It's hard to
maybe. We can
believe
blame these
that
guys.
this
No,
was
don't
a
blame them.
coincidence. It's very
Please don't.
eerie that there's a plane involved, that the show aired the same year as the real life events unfolded. Just, yeah, eesh. Spooks. This British
indeed.
spy drama has become pretty famous for its season 4 premiere episodes, the special parts 1 and 2. In these 2 episodes, the team works to prevent a series of terror attacks in the underground.
They just
subway
try to
system
censor that
being
word.
carried out by a group called
Why isn't the word
Now, the episode aired in September of 2005, just 2 months after the 7/7 bombings took place. Even though the
such
episode
as well?
aired
Bro,
after these attacks,
like, come on.
it was
Anyone
filmed
can say
for station in the episode, one of the stations that was attacked 2 months prior, and unfortunately, unlike in the TV show, these 7/7 attacks took the lives of 52 people and
yes,
injured
it was a huge
700
shame.
others.
A
The events
huge
taking
shame.
place in these premiere episodes were so similar that staff at BBC actually debated not airing the episodes. They did end up airing them though, adding trigger warnings to the beginning of each part. Next up we have Family Guy. There have been a few creepy
I like
instances
Family Guy.
where things featured in
Peter
Family
Griff.
Guy ended up
I
playing out
love
in real
it.
life. Not
I
quite on the
love
same level as The Simpsons, but you know, relatively close. This next one is related to Kevin Spacey, though. Yeah, I remember him.
Who?
In the 2005 episode Don't Make Me Over, we cut to Brian and Stewie in a shopping mall. Brian agrees to give Stewie $8 if he does something. We cut to Stewie running through the mall naked, saying he's escaped from Kevin Spacey's basement. Funny prank,
Oh dear.
but
I'm guessing he's a
very
bad
different
guy.
looking at it with the context we have now. I'm willing to bet most people watching this episode at the time didn't really think much of this joke. It's not like it's even all that funny or anything, but it makes me wonder if there was...
This guy's talking like he's been interrogated by the police. Like, bro, have a bit more intensity to your structure of words. Damn. I should be a host in this channel. I'd be like, alright guys, today this guy got murdered, but hey, look at the bright side, he was arrested. Shit, look at me, I'm a host.
On the list we have The Simpsons. Nothing in particular here, just in general.
This just shows on so downhill. The
Could make an
Simpsons,
entire
honestly.
list.
Since
and
like
have made an
2010.
entire list dedicated to Simpsons predictions alone. This
Yeah, man.
show is famous for a lot of things, and predicting the future is also one of them. There's a huge list of strange things that have happened in this cartoon, bear an uncanny resemblance to real-life events that would come later. One notable example is, of course, the episode where originally airing in 2000, it's kind of a glimpse into the future. It shows Lisa becoming the president of the United States, succeeding a fictionalized version of Donald Trump. And then this prediction came true, of course, 2016 when Donald Trump was elected.
Because The Simpsons gave Donald Trump the idea to become a president.
Followed by
Look
the
at that.
inauguration of Kamala
Tree
Harris
looking.
as the first female vice president in 2021. Another Simpsons prediction is the horse meat episode. There's the episode with the giant bees. They've had smartwatches in an episode. episode long before they came out. The list goes on and on. Next up on the list, we
Yep,
have
very
Friends
true.
predicting Facebook. In this 2003
Oh, I
episode,
didn't like
the
that
one
audio
with the
cut there.
memorial service, Ross sits with his laptop showing Chandler a new website for college alumni to interact on. Now, there were websites like MySpace that were around at this time. Anyone here old enough to have had a MySpace account?
Bro, can you
I can't
just...
remember what I did on there. I think that you could have like music and stuff and like, man.
Oh my God.
Distant memory. Anyway,
Bro,
it's
just
not
get to
like
the
social
point.
was not a thing entirely at this point, but the way Ross describes the website, it sounds kind of similar to Facebook in a couple different ways, which would actually be launched just a year after this episode aired. Ross explains that you can post messages for people and let everyone know what you're up to. And the fact that it was just for college alumni is also similar to Facebook, as when it first launched, it was strictly for Harvard students. Number 5,
Yes,
the
I
Chris
know. I learned
Rock
about that
Show.
in
One particular
media
sketch,
class. Not
the
media
show
class, business
tackled
class.
the infamous O.J. Simpson
business
trial,
student.
which had captivated the nation in the mid-90s. During the sketch, Chris Rock held up a fictional book called I Didn't Kill My Wife, but if I did, here's how I do it. Supposedly written by O.J. Simpson. The idea of Simpson releasing a book that speculated on how he would have committed the act was absolutely
O.J. Simpson's a
absurd
bad
at the time.
man.
Fast forward to 2007 though, and O.J. Simpson did indeed release a book with a very similar title called If I Did It. While the book was initially shelved due to like just public outrage, it was eventually published, and Simpson's account of how it could have been committed garnered significant media attention. The fact that the Chris Rock Show had parodied such a specific concept years before actual publication.
Isn't he the guy that got slapped
pretty
by
wild.
Will Smith? I think he is.
Man, what a title. Did OJ just see this bit and then go, you know what? That seems like I should actually write that. There's also rumors, though, that he didn't actually write the book himself and just accepted money from the publisher to say that he did, so... okay, you never know. Next up, we have Season 5, Episode 4 of Supernatural, which aired in 2009.
God, what is that face?
And had
Jesus
some pretty surprising similarities
okay,
to a
isn't too bad,
certain
actually.
real-life global pandemic that broke out.
Okay, I'm not actually going to censor this one for myself, but why have they censored pandemic?
In this episode, Dean finds himself 5 years into the future where the Croatoan virus, yes, the Croatoan virus, has decimated the world. Luckily, the real didn't turn people into violent zombie-like monsters.
Why have you
at least
got
not
censor
everyone.
that word?
When it's revealed that public assembly has been shut down, that sports are no longer running, it feels a lot more close to home watching it now, especially a scene where a character named Chuck tells Dean how much of a precious commodity toilet paper has become, telling him to hoard it. You know what though? Supernatural was a pretty popular show. I'm willing to bet a lot of people watched this episode, and when everything kicked off in 2020, that little scene popped up in people's brains and they were like, toilet paper, hoard it, hoard it. Number 3, Person of Interest. Person of Interest was a sci-fi crime drama that aired from 2011 to 2016. While the show primarily focused on the use of artificial intelligence and surveillance systems to predict and prevent crimes, it made a pretty eerily accurate prediction about a real-life whistleblower case. In the show's second season, which aired in 2012, an episode titled No Good Deed introduced a character named Henry Peck, a government analyst who discovers
Peck
the
on these,
existence
mate.
of a massive surveillance program targeting U.S. citizens. The storyline closely mirrors the real-life case of
Harry Potter,
Edward
right?
Snowden, who gained international attention in 2013 for leaking classified documents exposing the surveillance activities of the National Security Agency. Again, this is another weird case where a fictional episode of a TV show came out within 1 year of a very similar real-life event taking place. Really strange.
Inspirations galore.
One of my favorite franchises of all time. Now,
I've never really been able to get into Star Trek. I've never really liked Star Trek.
When it comes to future
Old TV shows, bar like The
are the
Simpsons.
technology
I just can't get into them.
proposed. Technology in Star Trek was more of an influence on real-life technology, not a highly coincidental similarity. There is one instance where real life imitated Star Trek in a much more surprising way, though. In the season 1 episode Tomorrow is Yesterday, airing in 1967, the Enterprise is thrown back in time to the late 1960s. And at one point, Uhura picks up a news broadcast announcing that the launch of this historic moon landing will be taking place on the following Wednesday. And the real-life moon landing also happened on a Wednesday. And not only did the rocket take off, but the rocket took off
What happened on a Wednesday?
that it did in this Star Trek episode, Cape Kennedy. It's not explicitly stated in the episode the exact year they travel back to, but according to some fans, there are signs that the crew had traveled back to 1969. So that is the case, even the year lined up. Number 1, Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. This sketch comedy series aired from 1968 to 73 and was known for its quick humor, political satire. In one episode, the show made a surprisingly accurate prediction about a rather significant event in world history, the fall of the Berlin Wall. During a segment called News of the Future, the show's host humorously predicted the wall's collapse, stating that there was dancing in the streets and singing and as the wall had finally fallen, but that it had been replaced with a moat full of alligators. Now, the alligator part
they're blowing out cigarettes now.
Came true, but this sketch came out in 1969. This was a time when the wall stood as this physical and very symbolic division between East and West Germany, seemingly impenetrable.
Well, the wall was a stupid idea.
No
People, politics.
Going anywhere. However, as we all know, the Berlin Wall was indeed torn down on November 9th, 1989. And the even crazier part is that this show's 1969 episode actually predicted the fall of the Berlin Wall down to the very year. Yes, this future news segment was supposedly coming from 1989. And yeah, that is quite the coincidence.
I was about to say, like, predicting the fall was pretty obvious, but they got the year right, so I quite like that. For once, this channel didn't actually disappoint. Very impressed with the channel. There we are, and that is going to be the end of this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Do you like summer fruit squash? I'm drinking some right now. With that said, I've been BDFO18. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.